Shut up and sit down.
It's where the big boys play. SICW.
Welcome to Brody Cup podcast, everybody. Episode 134. Not to worry, everybody. Bobby will be on in probably 15 minutes. He's getting out of his street walking clothes, and he's going to get more respectable clothes to join us here in a bit.
That's
Hey,
what you want to call it.
Ho's got to make some money.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
He's not here to say anything, so we get to say whatever we want. He should be on time next time.
Right. So hello everyone. I'm the Big Texan, and of course that was Nate talking. And yes, our third party is not here, but he will be on shortly. Kind of want to start off with some sad news. We found out earlier today that a fellow indie wrestler from the St. Louis area, Nikki Strychnine, has passed away. Really don't know any details yet about his passing because he wasn't living in St. Louis anymore. I think they said he lives in Arizona. But everyone in the St. Louis area who remembers GCW and the original GCW, not the Game Changer Wrestling. This was Gateway Championship Wrestling. And
weren't you in that one?
So I was never in that organization, and I'm just going to tell the story. So when I wanted to be a wrestler, I think, my gosh, I was probably 18, maybe 19, and I knew you had to go to St. Louis, and I knew about MMWA, Mid-Missouri Wrestling, MMWA, Mid-Missouri Wrestling Association, but most people know it as South Broadway. So when I let me just backtrack. When I first got involved in the wrestling is because I was a manager of a Valvoline, and a guy brought me in. Well, actually, he just came in as a customer, seen the size of me, and said, "Man, you look like a great wrestler." You've told this story many times. I'm starting up a wrestling organization, doing some training. Would love to bring you on if you're interested. Of course, wrestling, that was my goal. It's what I watched growing up as a kid. It's what I idolized.
Who was the guy that brought you in? Remember? I know. Real journalism, asking the hard questions.
Hard questions, because Blade was his name. And this is the gentleman right here. Blade. But, his organization didn't last because he didn't really have any funds. And we got kicked out of a few places. And then he took me to South Broadway to wrestle there, just to wrestle in their ring and practice in their ring. But that didn't work out because he didn't have permission to do that. So we all got kicked out of Broadway before I even initially got started at Broadway.
It kind of seems like that should have been prophetic for you with Broadway.
It was a what's the word, premonition,
yeah, premonition,
repeatedly, because I've been kicked out of Broadway multiple times. But anyway, I wanted to get back into wrestling, or get back into training for being a wrestler, and I knew Broadway had a couple places that I wrestled, but I also found out about Gateway Championship Wrestling. And I didn't know where any of these places were located. I knew about Broadway's practice gym because I got kicked out of there. So my goal was to go to Gateway. And I actually, on this particular night, Gateway was running a show on South Broadway. It was literally 3 blocks away from where South Broadway was running, MMWA. And me being a young kid, when I went to go see Gateway, I actually ended up going into MMWA's wrestling show that night. And I got to the door and they wanted my money and everything. And I said, "Is this Gateway Championship Wrestling?" And they said, "No, that's a couple of blocks down." So I turned around and left. And I went to see Gateway Championship Wrestling. Because Gateway, um, you hear all the rumblings when you're into wrestling and you find out about local indie wrestling, and then you know you kind of watch all of it. So you watch Broadway, you watch Gateway, and I didn't know about SICW, but you knew Gateway was this like hardcore type of wrestling. It was almost like ECW, but this was local. So I'll never forget, because their heavyweight champion at the time was Kevin X. He went by a different name. Kevin Sharp is what he went by in GCW. But he was sitting at the doorstep of how you got into the event. So, he's sitting there. He's all dressed out to wrestle, but he's sitting there with the championship belt. And people are just passing right by him to get into the show. And this is my first time here, so I didn't know who he was, but he was the champion. And I ended up watching this show, just me by myself. And this was just a crazy show. It had a balcony in this building. It kind of was like a loft, just for storage stuff. But it was kind of it wasn't right above the ring, but it was right on the edge of the ring. And there was just some crazy guys. I'm gonna butcher his name, but Kamikaze, I think was the wrestler's name. But he got up on that balcony and he jumped off of that and landed on the guy in the ring. And like I said, it was a crazy show. And of course, anything went. And Gateway Championship Wrestling, they also did some adult shows that you had to be 21 to get in. No kids allowed in those shows. They were like for adults
Talking
only.
about wrestling porn.
Well, you should talk to Sean Vincent about that, because he ended up wrestling a couple girls that night. I think it was 2 against 1, and they were trying to shove something somewhere. And well, just say that. But
we'll have to do that on our other show. That might be too racy for this one.
But one of the guys there was Nikki Strychnine, and Nikki, if you picture like a Marilyn Manson before, because this was before Marilyn Manson made it big, but he looked exactly like Marilyn Manson. Yeah, I mean, and he would come to the ring. In that one picture, he came to the ring with a cross, and yeah, there he has the halo of the barbed wire. So this guy was, I wouldn't say satanic or anything like that, but you had that feel and that vibe coming off of him. And he would spit this green mist at everyone, and you can see that most of the time he was dyed green from as much as that mist that he spit.
Well, you can see on the torso there, and just
Yeah.
look in really hard, you can see he has been dribbling on himself.
But he had this guy that would follow him around, and they called him Rat Boy. It was like one of his henchmen. And most of the time they dragged him out in a trash can to the ring, and Rat Boy would hop out of the trash can and then get into the and it was one of those things where like he would force Rat Boy to do his bidding. And so if he didn't want to wrestle that night, he would send Rat Boy out there. Of course, if Rat Boy didn't get the job done, he beat the crap out of Rat Boy. So it's just, and that's a gimmick in wrestling that's and it's a proved gimmick. You come out there with a person supposed to be your partner, and then he doesn't do the job, so you beat the crap out of him, but he's still loyal, so he's still following you around like a lost puppy.
Did you ever do that to Waco when you were when you were in that tag team under the mask?
No. Back then, Waco could hold his own. He can't really hold his own anymore, but as proven, because his win-loss record, the losses are much higher now than when it was when he was tagging with me. But needless to say, I was hooked, and I didn't know that Gateway trained wrestlers at all. So I actually found my way back to South Broadway and actually started training with them, and that's how I got more involved in the wrestling. But yeah, I always thought it was pretty funny that I ended up at an MMWA show, but I was technically trying to see Gateway Championship Wrestling. But a lot of people came out of GCW. There was Delirious came out of there. Now he wound up in Ring of Honor, so he moved up. Ring of Honor was, basically like the fourth biggest wrestling promotion, because it was like WWE and WCW, then ECW was there, and then Ring of Honor, because no other promotions were around. AEW wasn't around, TNA wasn't around, but Ring of Honor is actually pretty old. It's a pretty old promotion when you think about things. And Delirious made up to Ring of Honor, so everything was like, we were excited for him, being up that high. And then he got involved in the booking of Ring of Honor, and he ended up being more creative behind the scenes than he was in front of the camera. And so right now he's in TNA, but he was in AEW, but he's been doing behind the scenes of wrestling promotions.
Well, we have a video of a match between Nikki and Delirious.
Yes, and it's probably going to be a really cool match, because I'm interested in seeing it too, because it's probably going to bring back some memories. But some other people have come out of there. Mischief, she was a female wrestler. She ended up traveling the whole world, became an NWA women's champion, Shimmer's ladies champion. And I think she was a champion of another place too, but so she was a breakout star. But I think the biggest one was a guy named Matt, and I think Matt's was in one of the videos too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what Matt's name was when he was in WWE. Oh, Matt Bourne is what WWE named him. And Matt Bourne, he had a good stint in WWE, did some spots in TNA, and now he's in AEW. So he was like the biggest breakout star of GCW. But there's quite a few people that got very popular. Daisy Hayes was another one. But yeah, so since we're waiting on Bobby to get on, why don't we just go ahead and roll one of these videos?
Do you want the one with Delirious? Do you want the one with Matt? Which one do you want?
Either way.
All right, we have keyed up for Delirious. Now, this is a very low quality audio. I've done what I can to up it. It's just may not be enough. And obviously is not enough because you can't hear a damn thing.
Let's see if I can make this one bigger. There we go.
Well, if you rub it hard enough, it'll get bigger.
As you can see, they're already having mic problems. Just the ring announcer, Keith Smith, was trying to talk, and he can't talk on the mic.
There he is.
There we are.
Yeah.
Champion, Tricky Nick 9, out there with the washed
There's
up.
Green Goo, or his Teenage Mutant Turtle Ooze.
So he would actually carry a gas can. That's a gas can that he's got out there. And he would drink from the gas can. Totally forgot about that.
What belt is he wearing right now? Do you know?
I'm pretty sure he was the champion of Gateway for a while, so that might be their heavyweight championship.
I'm jealous of his hair. I wish I had hair like that.
Now, Nikki was also in a band. I didn't know he was in a band, but just doing some research and went through his Facebook, and evidently he played in a band.
It doesn't
Which,
surprise me. A lot
yeah,
of pro wrestlers are in bands. You have the Searcher. He has his, does his music thing.
yeah. But yeah, so this is Delirious. Now, when I say, he did wrestle in Ring of Honor, then I guess he put his wrestling days on the back burner and did more behind the scenes. I know he was a trainer for Ring of Honor for a while, but now he's currently, like I said, I don't know if Booker would be the thing or the matchmaker, but he's working behind the scenes in TNA right now, which is, like we've talked about, they're basically partnered with WWE right now. So
Did Delirious bulk up before he went to the Ring of Honor? Because he's pipe cleaner on there.
yeah, so this is a lot of the first times for people. So I don't think Delirious wrestled besides GCW before he got the call up.
Delirious. Did I use his name to describe himself? It's never done. Okay, well, Delirious getting what's a good
That
word?
was he still can't understand what he's saying, but we'll supplement it. We'll fill that time. I can't imagine having hair like that, even though it would be nice to have hair like that. Just getting in the way all the time, especially when you're trying to wrestle.
Well, even that, Delirious' mask, that's not his. Well, some of it might be his hair, but a lot of that is his mask that's flailing around.
Yeah, I'm talking about Nikki though.
Yeah. Ooh, that was nice. I thought he was going to go for a death drop, kind of like what Sting does, but he went and did with like a suplex with it.
And everybody, this is from 2003. This match is 22 years ago. So really sad that 22 years ago, the video quality is still not good.
Now, so 2 years ago, Sean Vincent put together a tribute to Gateway Championship Wrestling because the owner of GCW, Ben Oliver, had passed away, and
Excuse me, how
I think there was one other tribute show prior to it, but it had been so many years. So Vincent put together this show, and I think Bobby was part of it too. But we all had matches with previous GCW wrestlers, and Nikki came back. I don't think Nikki wrestled, but he came back and managed Rat Boy for his match. And of course, he got involved, like all managers do.
Yeah. Now, did he have Rat Boy at this point?
Yeah, so I think Rat Boy is out there. He didn't come out in the trash can like he normally did, but
We've seen this one before.
So it has to be Rat Boy holding Delirious on the.
Yeah, he is.
Son of a bitch. Oh my God! Delirious
That was a pretty good move.
Yes, the guy right there in front of the camera on the right, that is Rat Boy.
Yeah.
This match isn't over right now.
That had to have hurt his ass. There's no way you can do that and land on that tile and not hurt your ass.
Can you said,
Oh yeah, that floor is not forgiving.
Why after something like that?
No, it's concrete with slick tile.
Right.
But I just assumed that was a yeah. Because I didn't
See, that's really good interjection by the announcer.
That's Van and Dingo.
And who's this? Man, Jahamba.
The big guy is Ben Oliver. That is the owner, and that is Dingo. Now, Dingo was actually, everyone thought Dingo was going to be the one that was going to be the breakout star. And I think he did some Ring of Honor as well.
But he ate somebody's baby, right?
But something happened where he didn't. Oh my gosh, is that? Maybe that isn't Rat Boy. Now I'm not too sure if that's Rat Boy or not. because that almost looks like another guy. Pete.
Looks like we're going to set up a good old-fashioned impromptu six-man tag here. Delirious.
Nico ate the baby. So that's Ben Oliver for the Ben Oliver tribute that we had in 2023. If people look at the poster I posted, for 2 years ago, the prices almost haven't changed to get in. Hey, there's your mischief.
Yeah.
Man, all the stars are in this video. Good call. Good pick.
Yeah.
Not bad for not seeing it. Good instincts. Good instincts.
Right.
Mischief stepping in there. Playing in the ball, let him know ain't going to be no six-man.
UCW, they did intersex matches.
Yes.
A 9-man
Now,
tag.
I know SICW's view on that is a no-go for intersex matches. What do you think about it? Do you think it worked for GCW, or do you think it was counterproductive?
Well, so in this particular reason, I think it worked because they didn't have, and like they didn't have enough girls trying to be wrestlers back then, and we still don't. There's not enough, ladies out there trying to be wrestlers. So it worked for them because it got them to be trained, and it actually probably made them better wrestlers because they had to wrestle men.
Did this turn into a Royal Rumble or what?
No, it's turned into a 6-man tag, I think. Or yeah.
Delirious stepping in.
He goes right after the female.
Chin
That's
lock.
a 2-man for you.
Back right in the wrong fucking corner. Adonis
So I want
tag.
to say that's the human wrecking ball instead of Rat Boy.
There's not a lot of room to. Oh, Jesus. It's a spine buster by Jack Adonis. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, this is an elimination style 9-man tag, as we've seen so many
Did you
times.
say 9-man tag?
Yeah.
It sounded like you said 9-man tag.
Yeah, that's what he said. Now that is actually Billy McNeil right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say I recognize that one.
Oh, spine buster was really
Before
snapped.
his long hair, before he lost his hair and then grew it back.
Right.
Yeah, I've seen that movie a few too many times.
In fact, your best friend is the reason he lost his hair, yeah?
Right, trigger effect. It could be
I don't remember.
2,
Is Bobby's best friend.
3.
Big Nasty.
Pretty sure yourself around.
Oh. I know Big Nasty cut Curtis's hair. Did he cut Billy's too?
Yeah.
And after 2, that I didn't have enough weight. Didn't have the
Although the Clippers didn't like Big Nasty and ran out of juice, so.
I'm not opposed to that easily, but I was kind of preoccupied. Thinking about this episode of the Jetsons I saw earlier in the day.
You know, Dingo looks
Right.
like
Basically,
he had that
Dingo driver.
beginnings of being a great wrestler as far as moving up the chain.
Wow, things are
Yeah, everyone thought he was going to be the breakout, just because he had the testicle fortitude, I guess.
He has the
And-
charisma. The only thing he's lacking is a little more bulk, and I think that's probably the reason why he didn't go higher than Ring of Honor, yeah?
Could be.
And during this time.
Big Bad Ben and Pete Man blowing back and forth.
That is the wrecking ball. That's Pete Matten.
Ben wrestled as well, huh?
Oh yeah.
That'd be like Herb getting in the ring and wrestling.
Now, so Ben Oliver, he wrestled for ECW a few times, and it was actually going to be signed with ECW, but I don't know the details of what happened. But he was still friends with a lot of ECW guys. So during a lot of his shows, he would bring in like a Rob Van Dam, or who else did he bring in? I know he brought in quite a few. But yeah, so they were pretty regular there.
Right into a sidewalk slam.
Come on. I think she gave up. Although, you know, Ben was a big unit, so
Right.
and putting his weight on it.
Oh, that's right. This just got fed.
Oh my God, that missile double stomp from the top.
I didn't know if he actually made contact there, but that was a missile drop kick. Looks like they're going back up for another one.
Yeah,
nope.
he missed
Leg
on that
drop
first
there.
one though.
Oh my God.
But that was a good sell on Delirious' part though.
Larry's gone on a roll here. We might possibly have a new heavyweight champion.
Absolutely.
No, it's a corner blowjob.
Finally got things evened up out here, and it's just down to
We're far enough in the episode that we can say stuff like that. It's only 30 seconds. How you know it was coded by a male.
Ooh, beautiful toxic salvation. Suspended northern light
It took some good core strength.
Definitely.
Yes, children, Jesus loves us all. We're very familiar with that speech.
Okay, that is what? Is that a studded?
It's just
Yeah, that's studded.
spikes on it.
What's going on, Bobby?
Sharp ass
That's a
spike.
studded vest, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, Nikki Strychnine always came to the ring wearing a studded vest.
It's like having a 200
That would hurt.
rope with a spiky chest protector landing on your chest first. That's what that one feels like.
All right, Bobby, you know more about GCW than both of us. What's
I
your
used to go there as a
experience
kid all the time.
with GCW? Say again?
Said I used to go there as a kid all the time. They eventually, like, I've been to their bingo hall, which is like their home out in St. Louis. But then, whereas now a Mueller furniture storage area used to be a skate park, and they used to come there in Belleville all the time. Those were their adults effing only shows, and I used to have to sneak into those.
So you were sneaking into wrestling porn. Ah.
Yeah.
Or did you ever wrestle for GCW?
I did not. They were closed by the time I was 18 and allowed to train. I'd have to look it up, but I thought they closed around 01, 02, maybe 03.
It had to be
Well,
about
this one is 03 with
You're
Delirious and Nikki, the one we were watching. So probably after that, not too far, yeah.
Yeah, more than likely. I mean, so it was a breakaway from South Broadway. Most of those guys, well, not Nikki or anyone like that, but like Ryan Ash, he was from South Broadway. Ron Powers wrestled for both. Gary Jackson wrestled for both Gateway and
founder.
Broadway.
The
Man,
founder,
Gary
Big Bad
Jackson
Ben.
was wrestling in Marathon. He
Yeah.
was wrestling, and he was wrestling for the first Olympics.
But yeah, Big Ben, he wrestled for Broadway as well. And something happened, backstage politics, and then Big Ben split up and started GCW. And for a while, it was a rival where you couldn't wrestle for both. But then it got to the point where, if you wanted the talent to wrestle for your particular promotion, and they wanted to wrestle for both, well, then you let that talent wrestle for both. So you, at any given day, you would let, you would see Gary Jackson at either Broadway or GCW. And like I said, same thing for Ron Powers. So
I think Bobby, one of our earlier podcasts, was talking about they would become a champion in one and then go down the street and then lose.
That was more current day stuff. That wasn't with GCW.
yeah, that was Dynamo Pro, which is an offshoot from Gateway Championship Wrestling. Some of the Big Ben's best friend who helped him run Gateway, once Gateway closed down, he opened up Dynamo Pro. And I want to say Dynamo Pro is still out there today, still out there wrestling. You got the likes of, what was that tag team we had? Was it Matt and I can't think of their names. You know what I'm talking about? Skrilla.
Oh, and Sean Soto, the
Yeah.
professionals.
the professionals. They wrestled for Dynamo Pro after they split from Broadway. And then after they split from Dynamo Pro, they came to SICW. So it's like there's so many wrestling organizations in Illinois and St. Louis that and so much backstage politics wrapped around them that you know, if you get pissed off at one organization, there's always another one you can go to. And then some people just do it as a circuit, you know. The time they get back to the one promotion, wounds have healed and they're welcome back. And then something happens and then leave again and start the whole rotation all over again. So kind of crazy, but yes. So just to recap, yeah, Nikki Strychnine was, I wouldn't say he was found dead, but he passed away earlier today. And like I said, we don't have any details on it. I do know, I heard that his family has gone down to wherever he lived. I want to say it was Arizona to find out the details. And then they're supposed to keep everyone posted. But if you're in the St. Louis area or if you're friends with local wrestlers in the St. Louis area, everyone's posting about it. You know, how he wasn't, the wrestling persona was one part of him, but as a person, he was totally the opposite. You know, heel in a wrestling ring, and in real life, you know, best friends to all. You know.
So we got to work that Big Bad Ben tribute show, and that was the first time I met him without seeing him in the ring. And yeah, like it was complete 180.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you know, Nikki wasn't the only one that passed away from that tribute show, because the guy I wrestled ended up passing away too that night. I mean, he didn't pass away that night, but like 6 months later, he passed away. So yeah, it's I don't know. We should probably, I mean, if Vincent wanted to, I think Vincent should do another one and add Nikki Strychnine and the other guy and Big Ben and just do one big memorial. And yeah, I think everyone would love to do that and come back and wrestle again.
Yeah, I just looked to see if there's any updates on his cause of death, and there's not.
So I don't like to give news like this, but it was a friend of his that posted what she thinks happened, and I could share that, but that's not confirmed with anything. She's the only place I saw it posted.
Yeah, unconfirmed by somebody close to Nikki. So this is unconfirmed reports. So what did she say about it?
She just said it was an accidental gunshot.
Well, that can go a lot of ways. So
accidental.
Yeah, that's all she had posted on it, and then a bunch of pictures of them together and like it's friends and whatnot.
Right. Either way, it's definitely sad news. You know, Nikki was way too young. And it just kind of puts life in perspective, you know.
Well, Herb says, he said it in our little group chat again today. He's said it many times before. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. Hug your loved ones and spend your time with them and, you know, enjoy the time you get.
Yeah, because Nikki had a full schedule for next year for appearances, so.
No, I didn't know he was still wrestling or not, because I think our tribute show, you know, he hadn't wrestled in such a long time, and that was one of the reasons why he didn't want to wrestle on the shows, because he was so.
Well, he may not have been wrestling. It just shows on X the schedule for next year.
Wow, it could be his band too. Like I said, he was in a band as well. Let's roll that other video that we got.
Okay, this one, everybody, has much, much better audio. So you don't have to listen to us talk as much.
Oh, what's the
point? That was the thing
with
a lot of, like, I love GCW, don't get me wrong, but their audio is not great.
Sound like he was deep mouthing, deep throating that mic.
I recognize that guy.
Yeah, so that's Sean Vincent before he was a wrestler. He was a referee.
Is the GCW head official.
So was that right, boy, in the crush?
Now, the guy with the mic, I want to say that's Brian Foley or Cole. He used to run a wrestling radio show in St. Louis. He would cover all the local wrestling. He would cover all the WWE and WCW. Stranglehold is what the name of it was, and it was very popular. Now he works for one of the local TV sports broadcasting things. Don't know which one, but I know he was covering a lot of the XFL when they were here. So
That's his normal jacket where you can see the spikes on the shoulders. Drinking his
Secret
gas
of the
can of
news.
poison.
I turned it down a little bit, so when you guys talked, it didn't.
Well, if Nikki gets a mic, that's probably safe so we don't get canceled. Yeah. I have a dark sense of humor, and even his things that he would say, but oh. I'd still laugh, but oh.
Yeah, he has the mic. Well, I mean, they'll cancel you if they don't agree with what you say, and later on, people aren't going to agree with what I have to say. But
back then, there wasn't really much canceling, so that's a
shouldn't be
the
any
past 7-8 years thing.
shouldn't be any canceling now, but people are weak.
Agreed.
Nikki kind of had the build for him to go higher than Ring of Honor too. A little more muscle. I mean, his
Well,
bump
one of the
size was-
GCW guys actually became the main booker of Ring of Honor, so like he had a connection there if he wanted to.
Yeah, we talked about it. We talked about him, talked about Matt, of course. What was her name?
Mischief?
Blaze, Mischief, talked about her.
Holy crap!
Behave or something like that. Yeah, so like I said, that's Matt Seidel in long pants, and of course, once he made it to WWE, it was Matt Bourne. He was the one. Now he doesn't look like much here, but
He's
again,
5'7". How in the hell did he get to WWE 5'7"?
So
During
he
this
actually
era.
started with a dark match, I believe, with Shelton Benjamin, and he got 2 moves in, and just the way that dude can defy gravity and move, they're like, we got to see more right away.
As a suicide
Like,
bomber.
he was on top of the world. Like he was teamed up with Rey Mysterio, and like then he started, from what I was told, his I don't feel like showing up kind of mentality. But apparently is, from what I was told, I don't know the guy personally, that he was raised with the silver spoon, and so that was kind of the I do what I want when I want mentality.
Kind of sounds like
I'll just say
I'll
this:
do what
I
I
heard
want,
that he
say what I
actually,
want, and I won't.
I heard that he actually hurt his ankle in an accident, and he was never physically without pain, and that was some of his problem as well. But like I said, now he's wrestling in AEW, which is a lighter schedule. But every time they come to St. Louis, he is definitely one of the main guys that they promote, since St. Louis is his hometown.
Technically.
Yeah.
And the ISO on this camera is horrible.
Well, again, you got to think this is 20 years ago cameras, 20 plus years ago.
Now this is a
Three-way
everybody
dance.
against everybody match.
Yeah, so it's 3 opponents.
I don't think I've seen SICW do a 3 for all with 3 people. Unless you guys have done it since I stopped going because it hurts too damn much.
Nope.
Very rarely, I think. I think once in a while they'll throw one out there, but very rarely. Look, Nikki's taking a break. He's sitting in the front row.
Well, I don't remember the exact dynamics of these two back then, but they came out together, so they have to be friends or whatnot. And so Nikki's probably just chilling back, making sure he don't get hurt.
I don't know, but
And
you
then
weren't kidding, Bobby.
Ken.
Matt can defy gravity. That kick out on that, he was up in the air for a while.
Well, I remember the thing that he did was a hurricanrana, which is pretty basic, but he doesn't go straight vertical. He flies on his back this way, and then he flips around the opposite way, and it doesn't make sense how he can move.
I don't know, but every kick out I've done, I've never been in the air that long.
So there's a few moves that are banned by the WWE. And there's certain moves that are only done by certain wrestlers. They won't let anyone else do it. The tombstone is one. They won't let another wrestler do a tombstone because it's so dangerous, because it's a pile driver. But they feel the Undertaker, besides it being one of his moves, back in the day everyone did it.
That
But
right there is what you're about to bring up.
yeah, so they banned some of those moves, and one of the moves that Matt used to do was a shooting star press, and that move was banned because not that many people can actually pull it off and hit their opponent. But when Matt came on, he was able to do the shooting star press, which is climbing to the top rope, jumping forward, but doing a backflip and landing on your opponent.
And then you just saw there, he did it from a standing position,
Right.
not even on the ropes.
So they allowed him to do it, and then after he was gone, they stopped that move again until someone else brought it back. But Brock Lesnar used to do that move in OVW, and the only time he did it in WWE, he almost broke his neck because he didn't land properly. He
Well,
didn't get that full rotation.
I say when he was in developmentals with the Minnesota Wrecking Crew, he did it with WWE. I guess it wasn't technically WWE, but it was a WWE contract.
It was OVW. Like I said, he used to do it a lot in OVW, but the only time he did it in WWE, he damn near broke his neck, and then they banished that move again. But
Now, is the power driver outlawed? Because I just watched a guy earlier this week get paralyzed from a backyard wrestling thing, where of course they're inexperienced, not trained, and he broke his
Very
head.
rarely ever see a traditional pile driver on WWE. Whether it's official or not, I don't know. I would have to imagine it is, which is why it's so rare to see it. Like Kevin Owens, one of his biggest finishers back in Ring of Honor was a package pile driver. He was not allowed to do that when he came over.
Look at that kid in the background. He's like, I'll protect myself. Sorry, Bobby. I just had to point that out. It was just funny.
It's probably Billy McNeil. You look at some old GCW, like Billy McNeil looks like a child in these.
yeah, we just watched him wrestle.
Ryan Ash there, and the other, the white shorts, he has somehow aged the other way. He is like more muscular and more shredded, like than anywhere near this. I've got to work against him at Broadway.
But Matt, when he was growing up, he did gymnastics, and that's why he's able to do all this flipping stuff and pull it off because he has a gymnastics background.
Yeah, that doesn't compare to toxic brains.
All right, folks, we're just watching the match and getting caught up in it. What happens when you're fans and host?
Yeah, right. Well, and you're watching something that you haven't watched. And if I did watch it, it was 20 years ago.
I watched it like 45 minutes ago, but I still, mainly because you see things you didn't see before. Now, he did that every match, it seems like.
You know, that's got to be hard on the knees too, besides having a good core to actually sit back up. You know, you're stretching those knees and them being in a locked position.
Seems like it'd be a hell of a way to get a hernia, too. So, a bump card for him had to have been rough. Solid way Booker.
A lot of these GCW guys did crazy stuff, like all the time. Rat Boy on the outside.
And see, this
still
is where
have
the
a-
friends start
I
going
still
at
have a
it.
sign from Rat Boy at the Big Bad Ben tribute show where he autographed it for me.
Here comes the Seeker of the Ooze.
Same Power Rangers.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. His green venom spit or poison spit, whatever he wants to say. They should do that where everybody pins everybody. So nobody.
Like Sean Vincent got confused.
Has nothing to stop it. He's always confused. Yes, I know. I'm nasty. Beat him. Beat him. Beat him like in Friday.
Should have beat him harder.
Make him squeal like a pig.
That's a whole nother thing.
Anyway,
Well,
you just had to
did
be
say at
around.
one time you have to be a little bit gay to be a pro wrestler.
You just had to be around in the late 90s, early 2000s, and you would have enjoyed GCW. Like I said, they used to bring in a lot of ECW wrestlers because Big Bad Ben, like I said, he was going to be in
That's
ECW.
that tribute show right there.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a sad day. Here's some sad news. But a lot of people will be missed.
Rat Boy and
Why
Nikki
did-
Strychnine reunite.
Yeah, why was there a little weak little chain up? Because as many times as I've been there, there's never been a chain up.
Well, I think it was just because it was kind of weird. SICW sponsored it, but it was more of a GCW show. So they weren't too sure what was going to happen. So they really wanted to make sure that the fans knew not to cross that line.
If you really like, traditionally GCW always had a barrier because they wrestled Missouri most of the time.
Yeah.
Where it's required.
Oh man. All right. So, of course, this past weekend, Saturday night's main event saw John Cena's last match, and it was John Cena.
He went out like a bitch.
John Cena versus Gunther, and it was actually a good match up until the very end. And I didn't even see the smile on John Cena's face until everyone took screenshots and showed it off.
Yeah,
But
how are you gonna tap out while you're smiling? Come on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Pitch move.
A lot of people
I didn't even take it as much of a smile as like I didn't really take it as a smile, but it was definitely a weird look. And I remember seeing it live, and I don't know, you got to put it into perspective though. Like that's the final match, the final thing he's ever gonna do in the ring if he stays true to it. So like that's a big, long, bittersweet moment that's been building up for a year.
Yeah, but he could have done it after the match. But a lot of people said that was the match that shows that wrestling, legitimately wrestling, killed sports entertainment. So they put sports entertainment on John Cena's back, pro wrestling on Gunther, and Gunther is just out there to wrestle. And he wrestled John Cena. He didn't play into the sports entertainment part of John Cena's stuff, and got the job done. So now everyone is and WWE is pushing this fact too, because even on Monday Night Raw, they were all like, every time they brought up John Cena, they brought up the fact that pro wrestling killed sports entertainment. So I'm thinking, and this is just my own opinion, I'm thinking since TKO has taken over WWE, and you can say that Triple H has a lot of pull, but we all know that he has to listen to TKO, and they're the ones pulling the strings with the money and the ticket prices going up higher, and them demanding WWE go back to Vegas this year for WrestleMania because they made so much more money in Vegas than they have in any other place. They're the ones that pushed for the whole WrestleMania 27 going over overseas, because that's where they're going to make some money. So to me, it almost feels like TKO is pushing more of a pro wrestling situation out of WWE and wants to get away from the entertainment part, which I'm happy for. I love a great pro wrestling match. I do feel there's some spots, or there's time for a little bit of entertainment, but I'm happy to see that. But I think it's just because TKO owns UFC, and that's a legitimate sports entity, and I think they want that to kind of rub off on the WWE. And like I said, I'm okay with that.
A lot of money.
True, and like I said, there is times when you can have some entertainment. Like the original Doink the Clown comes to mind. When he first came out, and it was Matt Bourne's version of Doink the Clown. He would come out there and do that, like water coming out of a flower when you smell it, and making the balloons and having them pop, and so there's that entertainment part. But then he was able to work that character into this like John Wayne Gacy type of feel to him. But then you have people like Kamala, the giant, what was his name? Kamala, the Uganda giant. Yeah, he could tell you in his autobiography. He said that he didn't know a wrestling move from a fucking rest hold to anything. He came out there, smacked his belly a couple times, chopped you, maybe did a splash, maybe a leg drop, mainly a splash. That was his favorite move. But he was a big guy, and he was like the entertainment part. Even back in the day, further back than him, like George the Animal Steel. I said it in one of my personal videos that I think he was the beginning of, well, I can't even say that, because let me just say, George the Animal Steel, he would come out there with a stuffed animal called Mine, and he would go around like he was not all there, and he would eat turnbuckles and stuff like that. But hell, going back to the original, what was his name? Not Boy George, Gorgeous George. Fuck, that was entertainment, and he knew how to wrestle. But he was entertainment because he was an arrogant guy who sprayed this perfume on you because you smelled like trash and you were there to wrestle him, so you had to smell better. He had to have the oxygen can next to him of the Florida oxygen versus the California, the smog town. So
Let me just put this out there real quick. In like collegiate style wrestling, like folk style, what I help coach, there are definitely times I want the other wrestlers to smell better. Like I ask them, like, y'all got some deodorant? Like, so I get that complaint of his.
I had that experience once where that fucker didn't put any deodorant on, and I contend that's how I lost my championship match for that weight class, was because that guy put his armpits straight in my mouth.
My middle son will go to tournaments, and I'm like, Owen, you forgot deodorant. And he's like, that's my secret weapon.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's
It
probably
works.
what you wanted to do.
It works.
So I'm more of maybe a 80-20 type of guy, 80% pure wrestling, having a great wrestling match. And then I think there's room for that 20% for the entertainment. But we'll see going forward.
And I would
Anything
agree with that. Like, that's
shut,
how I would say WCW was that I was a fan of.
well, anything that'll shut them up for putting the first half hour, 45 minutes of a show for jabbering.
Well, I mean, that didn't even change yesterday. Of course, yesterday was Monday. Now, they did start off with Gunther. He came out and he got real heat. Like, the whole audience was just totally against him and booed him and wouldn't let him speak. But again, he was like the one, when he was able to speak, he just let them know, hey, I retired John Cena. I beat the shit out of him. There's nothing you can say or do about it because it's done happened. And but still, the first 15-20 minutes was talk. And the rest of the show, I don't know, I skimmed through a lot of it, so it wasn't something that brought me in. They almost gave me what I wanted right at the beginning, and so I kind of tuned everything else out, because you got to hear from Gunther, the guy who retired John Cena, and that, that was it. But the last match was Rey Mysterio versus Logan Paul. Logan has been going around with brass knuckles lately and finishing off his opponents with the brass knuckles, and he did that again last night. He tried to do it, but Ray countered it. But then there's this masked man who's been jumping into like all the main events here lately, and no one knows who he was or what team he belongs to, if he's on Paul Heyman's team or if he's belonging to anyone else. But last night we found out when the masked man came back in and was able to do a curb stomp to Rey Mysterio, which allowed Logan Paul to pin Mysterio. And then even Logan Paul played it off like he didn't know who the masked man was and was threatening him if he got in the ring, he was going to hit him with the knuckles.
It baffled me too. I never would have guessed it was him.
Yeah, but so he eventually CM Punk came down to the ring to break it all up. The masked man went into the crowd, pulled his mask off, and he is Austin Theory.
Oh,
who
was Justin Timberlake?
What?
It's Justin Timberlake.
Oh, well, that's what everyone says because he looks. Austin Theory.
He got that JT haircut now.
Yeah, Austin Theory always had medium hair length, but he cut it all off, got a buzz. But he hasn't been on TV in quite a while. He was the next guy Vince McMahon was trying to push and cram down everyone's throat. Kind of like what they did to Roman Reigns. When Roman Reigns was still coming up, McMahon was pushing Roman Reigns down everyone's throat, and everyone turned on Roman Reigns. And then eventually everyone warmed up to him, and then they made him the main event guy. But McMahon's been trying to do this with Austin Theory for the longest time, And since McMahon's been out, Austin Theory's been kind of doing the shuffle, like, can I get on Raw this time, or am I still an employee type of thing? And they finally brought him back in the role, but everyone's saying that he is going to join the Vision, which is Paul Heyman's group with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed and Logan Paul. So he's supposed to be into that group. We'll see. Nothing's been determined yet. But yeah, so when it comes to John Cena, he has signed on for 5 years to be an ambassador for WWE. Now, he said that he will not return to in-ring action. He says he doesn't matter what amount of money gets thrown at him, because I brought this up in a discussion I had with a couple other people, that I'm sure Saudi Arabia is going to throw $1 million or $2 million at him and get him back in the ring. But he was interviewed Monday morning, actually. He was interviewed, and he said no amount of money, that he's good on money. So no amount of money is going to get him to go back into the ring. But he will be an ambassador for WWE, sign a contract for 5 years, which makes sense. You know, he was your most popular guy, made you the most amount of money ever since, Austin left the picture and The Rock left. Those are the two money guys.
The one thing I will always give the guy credit for, all of his Make-A-Wish stuff. Like, he's a great ambassador just for that alone. But there's the loophole. You said in ring. He can do a backstage brawl.
He can interfere outside of the ring.
Well, I mean, who knows? You can never say anything about wrestling because anything's possible. I really think he will be back.
Michaels said the same thing, and then he went to a Saudi Arabia match.
Right. Yeah, Shawn Michaels retired for so many years.
He said, I hate when guys come out of retirement. I will never do that.
But then he did. And then the other 3 people in the ring, because it was a tag match, it was him, Triple H versus The Undertaker and Kane. The other 3 people got hurt, so Shawn Michaels had to carry that match. Even though it was his return match from retirement. And they all claim it was such a shitty match because everyone got hurt. And Shawn Michaels had cut his hair, so he had that long blonde hair, and when he cut it, you could tell that he was bald, and so everyone was giving him shit about him being bald and everything. So he should have stayed retired, is what he said he should have done.
Well, speaking of saying they should be retired, we have 2 more segments. One, I know I'm going to piss some people off, and I really don't give a crap. And that will be my personal views, my personal opinions. A little bit controversial coming up, but
so
it is what it is.
This actually came out of the horse's mouth. This is Mick Foley's Twitter. He tweeted that he is splitting ties with the WWE. Now, right now, he's under contract. He's got a Legends contract, so there's certain times where he has to show up for WWE. But he said, other than that, he is not doing anything brand related to WWE because of their relationship with our current president, Donald Trump. He does not like Donald Trump's point of views on anything. And he's been vocal about this a few times.
He specifically states it's on his treatment of immigrants and deportation and his comments on Rob Reiner's death. Now, I don't know what Trump said on Rob Reiner's death, but as far as immigrants go, Mick Foley is, the hypocrisy coming from him is immense, and he needs to put the sock in the mouth and just stop talking because he's making himself look stupid. The fact of the matter is, Trump has only deported a little close to 130,000 people, while during Obama's administration, 3 million people were deported. Yet he supports one, but he doesn't support the other. Now, if it's going to be a fundamental issue, look, I don't have any love or hate for Trump nor Obama. I don't care if you do. It's just the point of the hypocrisy of it, saying, I'm not going to be associated as long as that guy's there because he's deporting people. I get it. The detainees have increased, and 80% of them, straight from the United States government, from ICE, are law-abiding citizens outside of being here illegal. Should they be in detention? Probably not. They were probably working, probably paying taxes, even though they were illegal. They should have the opportunity to make a expedited request to be citizens if they're law-abiding, have a job, paying taxes, and not being criminals. If they're criminals, get them the hell out of here. But to say you don't agree with his deportation of people, well, you have to go back to the ones who did it before that were more prolific in doing it. It's
Well,
just the hypocrisy is crazy.
I
That's
think
my views only, not official of the Squared Ring or Jim or Bobby, just my views only.
I'm going to take a step even farther back because I had a lot of people I know, some of the SICW locker room, post this as well. And I asked the question repeatedly, never got an answer. So I did do some Googling. TKO doesn't have a relationship with Trump for the most, like, pretty much at all. Former employees like Linda McMahon do, former employees. Triple H has been at the White House for different things. Again, an employee. He wasn't there as a representative for TKO or WWE. So where he's saying WWE has this big support to Trump, I couldn't find that.
And again, I mean, Jim and I talked about it a little bit before going on air. It's Mick doesn't have the pull that he once had. So overall, my personal opinion, nobody's going to give a crap on a wide scale. I mean,
To me, no
individual
matter
people
what
are
your
gonna-
politics are, there's only been one celebrity that has spoken truthfully about politics, and that was Mark Wahlberg. And that is all of Hollywood, does not live in the real world, and should not be telling regular people how to do their politics and live and whatnot.
And I agree. And Mick Foley is a prime example of it because he doesn't provide any facts. He makes assumptions that are incorrect.
Well,
And
again,
he
right
is
back to what I
being
just said is and that's what I asked on everybody's post. What is the relationship? Because I'm not finding it.
because Donald Trump was there at WrestleMania, I guess, or at a match. So he was also there at the Army Navy game. Does that mean the NCAA supports Trump? No, it's not political. He was the commander in chief. It was the Army Navy game. He flipped a coin and he watched it.
I say he was at the NCAA wrestling tournament too, and like that's just trying to get a little fame into your sport. Like that's not a business relationship.
Yeah. So
I'm
you
gonna
know,
throw my 2 cents in real quick. The Rob, the remarks Trump had against Rob is he said he wasn't a good guy. He didn't explain any further. He just said that he met him and his opinion on Rob was that he was not a good guy.
so it was his opinion.
Right.
Why
Again,
is Mick again the hypocrisy? He's making a comment based on somebody else's opinion of somebody else that Mick happened to like or enjoy. Don't know, but because he's pointing that out, obviously he thinks of him in a different way. I never met Rob Reiner, never talked to him, don't know if he's good or not.
yeah.
I know the rumors from being a part of that life at one point, but I never heard anybody say anything bad about Rob Reiner.
Well, I'm even going to add this in. I think Arnold Schwarzenegger, there's an interview where he talks about, as a matter of fact, it was on The View. They
Oh,
brought
great.
him on.
Socialism network.
Well, see, and here's the thing. They brought him on thinking that he would have the same viewpoints that those ladies would have. But he flipped the script. And it was amazing because I want to say Arnold Schwarzenegger is a Democrat.
Yeah.
But he said, "Look, I was an immigrant. I came to America. I wanted the American dream, and I got it. But I did it the right way. He went through the proper channels. He got declared an American resident, and he got the American dream." He said that he believes in deportation because if you want to come to America and have that chance to have the American dream, you got to do it the right way and get it done correctly, and then they'll award you with being called an American. But you got to do it the right way. So even an
And
immigrant on a pro-democratic channel called The View flipped the script on everyone and said what should have been said a long time ago for everyone. Come here,
and
live the
and
American
I
dream.
I
Just do
agree
it the right way.
100%. I agree 100%. You want to be an immigrant? Fine, do it the right way. You're going to come here illegally, then you need to get back where you come from and do it right. I mean, I've had few people from Mexico tell me it took them 20 years to become a U.S. citizen, but they don't regret the time that it took. And they're upset that people are coming here illegally and getting the same type of treatment, even better treatment than what they had, doing it the right way and being in process for 20 years. So
Right.
it's not the white Americans that are having the problem alone. It's everybody. It is everybody. What I don't care what politics you have or not with the people listening. It doesn't matter. It matters what the facts are, what the numbers are, and what's actually happening. And Mick, you know, love you to death, think you're a good guy and everything, but you just need to shut up.
Yeah. I mean, Mick does some wonderful things. So don't get this as Mick is a terrible person for his opinion. Again, this is his
He's not.
opinion. This is what he wants to do. He wants to separate from the WWE. Doesn't mean he's a bad guy, because Mick does wonderful things for the CAC. He was awarded an award last year because he brought the CAC in so much money. Because most of his appearances, he sells things and donates that money to the CAC. So he does a lot of great things. He also does the Make-A-Wish and has done it for many a years. Everyone has got an opinion, and opinions are just like assholes. Everyone's got one. So it
And
doesn't.
plus, I'm an asshole and I have my opinion.
You got
Correct.
both.
So when it comes to independent wrestling, this is the Christmas season, as we all say. So not a lot of shows going on. You still got the OVW that happens every Thursday night, so you can make your way to OVW and watch some good wrestling. And it's free to get into the building, and if you can't make it there, it's free to watch it. They have it on YouTube. I think WLW is now done because their show was Saturday. I think they're done for the year. SICW is done for the year. Even Broadway's done for the year. So our next show for SICW is January the 10th. It's back at the Belleville Fairgrounds. And it's an actual, I wouldn't say it's a regular show because it's going to benefit I forgot the name, but it's the animal shelters and stuff like that. It's for the cats and the dogs and everything like that because they're getting a new building. I've seen that a lot of it is up, but it's going to benefit them. So January the 10th, we're going to be in the big hall, the big part of the fairgrounds, and all proceeds will go to them. You never know, we might have some animals in the building because I think.
Well, so
Yeah, so I know my day job, they came and visited and brought in a bunch of puppies and a couple of kittens, and got to play
How
around with
many did
them
you
at
take home?
lunchtime. None. Matter of fact, one of my boys tried to bring home a dog the other day, and I put my foot down. I was like, we got 3 dogs and 2 cats. We don't need any more damn animals in this house.
He's leaving January 10th with a kitten.
No, he better
Mark my
not.
words.
Then he's leaving this house January 11th.
No, I meant you're coming home with one.
No, I'm not. I got a cat that I'm babying because I know he's old and he's the sweetest cat in the world. But
So you need to replace him, you're saying?
no, no. But yeah, so doors open at 6, bell times at 7, January the 10th. SICW comes back to Belclair Fairgrounds. And now the best part of the podcast, Nate's favorite part, because Nate has so much things that he buys and he brings to the table and lets us see what he does. So, Nate.
Yeah. This one, I bought this one for free.
You didn't buy that one. Texan bought that one.
Yeah, you didn't buy that. I bought it for you.
Yeah,
Mine's sitting
that's
behind
what I
me.
said, for free.
All right, Bobby. So last week you weren't here you're here in spirit and on vocal, but you weren't here in live and living color. So I do know that you have a box now.
Well, how much stuff do you have? Because I have a few things.
Go for it, bud.
Well, this isn't technically wrestling, but there's the legendary cooler that goes to the CAC every year. I did get new patches for it. So, there's like my motorboating one. There's one that says pet me and designated drinker.
There you are.
You should put all
those at
those.
the CAC.
You should put all those on your wrestling outfit.
And then my new flag also goes with that cooler. Anyway, so I got 2 boxes in. I don't know if we want to go over 2 boxes or if we just want to do one and save one. That's why I was asking how many you have.
Well,
Or how
let's
much you
save
have.
one. Let's save one.
Okay, so this one's already open. It's a Dan Hauser like squishy ball thingy.
Oh, kind of like a
Remember
Mad
those.
Balls, but Dan hands.
Yeah, they're brawler balls.
Okay, that's a cool idea.
I like
That's
those. I
This
had
is
the
a
skull
repeat
one.
hologram, and if anybody's interested, he will be at our next show. Well, that figure will be at our next show for sale. Greatest dark match of all time, Colt Cabana, and I have no idea who that is with him. It's a little sticker.
Yeah, I don't know
It's
who
so
that
great, nobody knows who it is.
I will probably end up I don't keep many of the pins. I will probably keep this one.
There you go.
Little Nacho Libre.
Yeah.
Colt Cabana shirt.
It seems the
I like
theme
the
comes
design on it.
them.
Like, I'm not a big Colt Cabana fan, but I do like the design on it. I think that is a nice little design. Got the poster.
Moxley,
John
huh?
Moxley. And the autograph this month. Which I bought in Iowa.
Oh my.
Gangrel.
Oh. So will that too make its way to SICW for?
I have to. Yes, it will. So I have a binder with my pictures, and I plan on putting plastic sleeves for all the repeat autographs and having those for sales in that binder.
Pretty smart.
I just have not done that yet.
You have some time.
Well, there's time is not my friend. Like tonight, getting on here late. We run our Little Devils tournament January 11th next year. And we're planning our meeting for it, and it's just chaos all the time.
Nice.
Busy man.
Politics. Everyone has them. So is that it? Is that all you got?
That is that box, and we'll save the other box for next week.
All right. So I was able to get a couple things. Now this past weekend, there's a monthly toy show that goes on. Yeah, it's monthly. And it's called the Toy Man Toy Show. And I've been going to it the last 3 months, and I've been finding some really cool things each time I go. Not necessarily going for wrestling. Last month, I was able to pick up some LJN wrestlers there. This month, I didn't pick up any wrestlers there. But I picked up 2 things. One of them I think Bobby would love. So I'm going to show you one of them. And then
While you're grabbing that, I'm going to throw one more thing in here because I just want to put it back in my collection. I bought this separately from those boxes. I did get myself another micro brawler.
That's that actor, ain't
Stingray from Cobra Kai.
he? Yeah.
I mean, he got into pro wrestling as Paul Walter Hauser. But yeah.
Yeah, but he looks like you. That figure looks like you, Bobby.
Oh, Stingray is just a badass. So
All right. So this was my big boy purchase. Cost me a Benjamin, but it's well worth it and most of the time when I see this, it costs more than a Benjamin. But it is the Ghostbusters Firehouse. And it has got everything in it. Most of the time when you find these, it's missing the pole. It's missing the Ghostbusters flag. It's missing the handrails. And then it's always missing the Ghost Containment Center.
this one got the stripper pole and all the other stuff.
Yes, this thing has got it all. Also, sometimes the doors are missing, but it's got everything to it. So I picked up my first time I went to this show. I picked up 4 of the original Ghostbusters and an original Slimer, and I've been just kind of hanging on to those figures. Ran out of room to display some of this shit, so I packed them up, and they're in my basement. But then now I found a play set that I can actually put them in. So very cool pickup. I've been eyeballing that thing for probably a little over a year. Always wanted it, but never pulled the trigger because it was
Now
always
you're
like $200, $250.
You're just missing the original Ecto 1 now.
That is true. It was there. I could have bought it for $60, which is still not a bad price for an original. And I might pick one up eventually. I did buy one at Ollie's like a few months ago. It was like $15. It looks just like the original Ecto 1, so that might just be the placement holder for a while. But I would say this was another big boy purchase because normally this would cost $100. The seller was selling it for $50. So I had to pull the trigger. It's something that I would never have bought because I didn't know it existed. But there's a movie that I know Bobby likes, and I love this movie too. It's been a couple years since I've seen it. But the Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah, that's awesome. Love that movie.
Popcorn gun. This thing is huge. It's still mint in the fucking box. In the movie, it shot. They were shooting people with popcorn, so that's exactly what this does. It's even got fake popcorn at the top there, but it's fucking awesome. I didn't know I needed it until I saw it and had to pick it up.
And we need to get 3 of them and have a popcorn fight.
Like, I think it's an okay movie, but my oldest, he's got plush blankets, wall displays, everything. Some reason that landed with the younger generation, or at least with him.
Oh yeah. Oh man, so once I seen this, I started researching movies with kids' toy guns that came out of the movies. I just kept researching shit. And there's another gun from this movie that I want to get.
The cotton candy gun?
The cotton candy gun. So I actually got that one on the way. There's another gun that I want to get from one of my movies that I love, Mars Attacks.
I was about to say my brother used to have a Mars Attacks gun.
Yes, and it's so cool. It's the gun that he would fire at the guys, and it would shrink their brains and get sucked into the gun. And the gun literally has a brain inside of it, as like it got sucked in. But that thing is a very small gun. It's like it fits in the palm of your hand, and they want $100 for it. And
I wonder if it's the same one. So, like, my brother actually went to the premiere to Mars Attacks, and they gave out these guns that he brought home. I mean, we
Wow.
destroyed the shit out of it back then.
Oh
but-
yeah. So getting online, there's like 2 versions. The gun looks the same, but the packaging is totally different. They call one Series 1, the other Series 2, but it's the same gun. Just the package went from like a pink package to a blue package, and the price went up for the pink package since it was version 1. But eventually, maybe down the road, I'll pull the trigger. I'll just keep it on the back burner for now. My favorite thing that I picked up, and I dogged on it in my last personal video, and maybe even the video of last week, because up here in my right side is the WCW 6-pack of Stings, and that cost me just under $100. And the package is fucking almost mint. It has a little bit of damage, but that thing goes for 200, 250. You can't find one, that cheap. I don't know how I got it, but a lot of the stuff I get off of eBay, the stuff that I get off of eBay, I sit on for months, and it's saved in my cart. And so if any other new sellers sells that particular item, it hits my account, and then I again sit on it until I find it at a price that I'm willing to pay for it. This thing was normally $100, and then on Black Friday it dropped to $70. So everyone in the wrestling action figure Facebook groups, well, couldn't believe it. And I dogged on it because WCW came out with a 6-pack, but Jazzwares came out with a 3-pack, and it's called the Legacy of Sting. Now, I didn't pull the trigger on $70 either. To me, I got 6 for $100. There ain't no way I'm paying $100 or even $70 for 3 action figures. But then, out of the blue, it popped up in the Facebook groups. The Jazzwares is doing another deal and dropped it down to $50. So I picked it up for $50. And the funny thing is, a lot of people were pissed because they thought the Black Friday deal was going to be the biggest deal. And so everyone bought it for $70. And it was like 3 days later, they dropped it to $50. But it's the Legacy of Sting. And again, it's an open up package. So it's got their versions of Sting, which again is not quite like the 6-pack where it's got the Surfer Stings with the robes and stuff. They don't have the rights to the Surfer Sting, so they do have like a flat top Sting, but I think the way they got around that is when Sting's last match happened, he had his sons dress up like him.
So it's not actually a Sting figure; it's a Sting Skid figure.
Right. But a lot of people say this was supposed to be a 4-pack because this section right here is the same size as these other 3. So they're not too sure what happened. But it's a 3-pack, and it's a nice displayable box.
Or
And
is there a hidden figure in there that you need to tear the box open?
No. Other people have opened up the box and seen that there isn't one. But so it does have like, you can't really say the NWO Sting here. He does have the NWO face paint, but he's in a robe that he never wore for the NWO. And then the older version of Sting just came to the ring with a black leather jacket. So that's what they're predicting here. But still, overall, for $50, it was a no-brainer for me. So I picked it up.
Actually, that's a pretty good price on that, though.
Yeah, because most, and these are what they call elite figures, which means they have more movable parts. And
So those are like usually $29.99 a piece, then.
yeah,
For the elite figures.
yeah. Well, the elites nowadays are the price went up. They are $34.99. So you figure that's basically buying 2 and getting 1 for free. But so $50. This was a great pickup. Last year I tried to meet Sting, but his line at the show that I went to in Indiana was the longest I ever seen a line. I mean, plus I think he was $100 for a signature and a picture. But I went there trying to get that done, and his line was just too fucking long. But the great thing is we got to meet him in the CAC, and so I got my picture with him there. Didn't get his autograph, but I did get to meet him. Got him a picture taken with him. So Sting is definitely going to be idolized in my collection. Eventually, I'm just going to finish my basement, get it painted. I already got the whole project in my head of what color I want the basement to be and how it's going to look. So then I'll start displaying all my shit down there and probably holding the podcast down there as well, at least on my end of the podcast.
Well,
Because,
are you going to hardline it then? Because you have an open basement that's not all the way underground, right? Because
correct.
the Wi-Fi signal and all that.
Yeah, we'll see how it works. Literally, where I'm going to put everything is directly underneath where I'm at right now, and the router and everything is right here to my left. So I'm hoping the signal is still strong. If not, I'll buy one of those extenders or something.
Nathan, when you use words like Wi-Fi, you really lose him there.
Well,
those were.
Is your basement temperature controlled for your figures?
It will be.
I know I'm throwing hard questions out. It's the journalism part of me, I guess.
There is one box that I literally got today. I know what it is. It's a pickup that I researched because I almost bought it at a toy store in downtown Belleville called I Had That. But they wanted too much money. And some things you can get at a toy store, a vintage toy store. Sometimes you pay a little bit more there. Sometimes you get a break there. So you really got to know what you're looking for and how much it costs. They wanted $100 at the toy store. I didn't want to pay $100 for it. So I found it through another seller, and he only charged me with shipping $50. So it kind of sucks that you have to pay for shipping, but when you buy online, anywhere you buy online, you're going to pay a shipping fee unless you buy from Target. I bought some stuff off of Target today, and they have, if you spend $50, then it's free shipping. But
unless you're being shipped through FedEx, where they retroactively charge you more when tariffs and shit go up.
I say you only have to spend $50. You can do ship to store for free too.
Yep.
Got all these peanuts in here. I'm trying to get them all out. All right. So again, with the Sting 6-pack, I found another. This one's a 4-pack. It is an older pack as well. It's the Bobby Heenan family. So it's got Andre the Giant, it's got Bobby Heenan, Mr. Perfect, and Big John Studd. So I seen this, and growing up in the 80s, that was the big heel faction. Bobby Heenan and his. The only thing that would make this better is Haku was a big part of a tag team with Andre the Giant. So they could have added a Haku figure, but of course Haku wasn't signed to a Legends deal like he is now. So there hasn't been any Haku figures. There's some planned for this year. A whole bunch of Haku figures are coming out this year.
But what about who did the figures of Haku? Because before he turned on us, we hung out with Haku a lot. He said he has figures that he gave to his sons and daughters for college in the future.
Yes, so that's the LJN. That LJN Haku figure, if you buy it in the package still, it's going to cost you about $2,500. Even loose, as in like one of these, you're looking at $500. And it's going to be fucked up looking, paint's going to be worn. If you want one that looks perfect, Haku, you're probably going to spend upwards of $600 for it. So his figure is only going to increase unless they make a new LJN version of him. And it very well could be, because if you have noticed, Haku is now a part of the WWE family again, thanks to his sons and his family. You know, for a while there was something that I don't know the details on, but there was something that they weren't bringing Haku back into the fold. He was never at the Hall of Fame speeches. Most of the time at the Hall of Fame, they have a lot of the legends sit in the audience, and he wasn't in that. And, you know, he was never in the hall, inducted into the Hall of Fame that I know of. But now that his family is back to wrestling for WWE, meaning his son and, well, two of his sons are there. Now you've seen him Saturday night. He hugged John Cena before his match. Yeah, so this was the pickup that came today. The Heenan family. It's very sad that everyone here is dead. But definitely, if you grew up in the 80s, this was the faction that everyone hated. You know, but there is one more 4-pack that I'm willing to buy once it gets down to the price that I'm willing to pay, and that is the 4 Horsemen 4-pack that they came out with. A lot of the 3-packs and the 4-packs that they recently came out with, they did a championship one where it was Hulk Hogan, John Cena, Roman Reigns, and Becky Lynch. Fuck that 4-pack. They did the Rock's family with Rocky Johnson and High Chief Maivia, and then The Rock. I care less about that one too. But that one and the 4 Horsemen, which was Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, Ric Flair, and then Barry Windham, which after Ole Anderson pretty much got let go and pushed out, that was probably the best 4 Horsemen in WCW. Multiple versions of the 4 Horsemen. I mean, so many people have been in and out of that group. There's a 4-pack right now that I can buy for $50, but it's Ric Flair, Chris Benoit, the guy that was a football player that just died last year. Yeah. And then the other one was Dean Malenko. So that's a 4-pack that I can go on there and buy. It's not a bad price, but to me, it's not the 4 Horsemen. You know, Arn and Tully and Rick. That's going to be the core. I don't think they made an Ole Anderson action figure, to be honest. But Barry Windham definitely is in WCW's Hall of Fame and WWE's Hall of Fame, and he did have a portion time of being in the 4 Horsemen. So I think I'm going to pick that one up once I get it to the price that I want it to be at. But and then I'll display all these multi-packs that I've been able to pick up.
Well, I found some Ole Anderson customs, so they're not official. They're just people who had some custom ones built.
Yeah. And trust me, if there was one that had Ole Anderson in it, I mean, that was the Andersons, man, the original Minnesota Wrecking Crew. That was a badass team. And I show that, I tell the students when the school is up and running full time, if you're a tag team, that's the team to watch and look and study. Because that team would literally pick a body part and both members would work that body part through the whole match. And however they finished the match had something to do with that body part being so weak and so bruised up and about to give out that's what caused them to lose the match. And it didn't matter if they chose the leg or if they chose the arm or they chose the head. both of them, Ole and Arn, worked that particular body part. And that's something I think that's missing in wrestling, especially nowadays when it's a lot of, I hate to say it, flippy flop, where they try to get that pop by getting 5 or 6 pops in their match. But unfortunately, they're working different things when they do each one, instead of telling the story that I'm going to work his arm until I get it in a position where he is just forced to tap out or to not be able to kick out because he's in so much pain. You know, that's the stories that is missing from the pro wrestling world. So hopefully we get back to that from the previous conversation about sports entertainment. But that's my toy haul for this week. So yeah, great toy haul. Wish I had more room that I can just display it all around. Unfortunately, I would be at this point. I would be taking up the whole front room and the dining room, and I almost bought some more shelves, glass cases, because someone offered me a good deal on 2 of them, but I turned it down just because I'm not ready for it yet. But one day the basement will be finished, and it'll be my 80s toy room because there's so much shit that I started I started collecting Small Soldiers. If you guys remember that movie,
I used to have that on cassette tape.
yeah, yeah.
All right, Jim, I'll make you a deal. You get your basement done, I'll rewire my furnace.
Oh, you better do that anyway. You know, it's fucking wintertime. I don't know if you realize that.
The dorm
Yeah.
girl in the living room, he's fine.
But all right, you know, if you made it this far, thanks for tuning in. We try to do this every week. Sometimes we get a case of the sniffles or whatever, and we have to close shop. But a lot of you subscribers are keep on watching the product, so we like to thank you for that. I know we need to get back on my side of doing the shorts and getting those out there to get more people's eyes on our product. And I'll probably start working on that again this week.
That, and I have more matches, classic matches to put out. I have 6 black and white matches to put out from the 30s.
Sweet.
So,
the golden age. That's awesome times. But yeah, if you like what we do here, you know, please give us a like and a comment, and definitely subscribe and hit that little bell so that way you guys know when our new product comes out. You know, we tape this on Tuesdays. It gets shown Thursday mornings. And of course, we share it on Facebook afterwards. But just want to say thank you. You know, it's the end of the year. We've been doing this for 134 episodes now. So this is a big part of our lives. And just a small part of Bobby's, because he's just all over the place every day. But we all love wrestling, so that's why we do it. And we just appreciate you guys following along and liking and sharing our product. But anything else from you guys?
no.
Covers it.
All right. We'll hit you one more time, I think. Well, no. We'll probably, we got 2 weeks until the next wrestling show. So we'll definitely see you back here on Thursday mornings.
Well, next week is Christmas. The 25th is on a Wednesday.
Yeah, but we'll record on Tuesday.
On a Thursday.
Is it on Thursday?
Yeah, Christmas is on Thursday, but we record on Tuesday, so it should be no problem, I think. So if we don't see you on the YouTube channel, we'll see you at the wrestling shows. All right, gentlemen, you guys have a good night.
Thank you.
For tuning in.
See you, everybody.